Hello, I'm Scott. Welcome to my channel CineRam, and this is my series Motion Conflict Under Ruse, all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. An abbreviated series about the biggest franchise in film history before Endgame comes out, the latest Avengers movie, which I'm seeing on Saturday the 27th. I'm making big progress through my rewatch, with the exception of the first Ant-Man movie. I've rewatched all the Marvel movies up to Civil War. Except I skipped The Incredible Hulk, because I always skip that one, because I don't like that movie at all. I've been listening to the commentaries, and I actually skipped ahead to listen to the Infinity War commentary yesterday, because I'm planning on rewatching the movie in its proper form the day before I see Endgame. So I thought I'll get the commentary out of the way and listen to that. And that was entertaining for the most part. The Russo brothers, the directors, got together with the screenwriters, just like they did on Civil War, to talk about the structure of the movie and how they sort of figured out how to cross-cut between the four different groups of characters throughout the course of the movie. You've got Thor, Rocket, and Groot in one storyline. You've got Thanos basically grabbing Gamora. That's kind of a partial storyline. It like diverges and then merges again. You've got Tony, Doctor Strange, Spidey, and they're all they converge with some of the Guardians. And then of course back on Earth you've got Cap and all those people trying to protect Vision. When I first was learning about what was going to be happening in Infinity War, I had this little theory about what would happen. And I thought that what was going to happen is, in the first movie, when they were called Infinity War Part 1 and 2, Thanos would basically collect all the stones, and he would go to Earth and get basically the Mind Stone and the Time Stone. But the cliffhanger would be him rocketing off into space, because there was one more stone to get, and that was the Reality Stone. I figured that he would not get that one. Oh, and also a lot of people thought the Soul Stone was also on Earth, hidden in Wakanda somewhere, which is why there's a big battle scene in Wakanda. But no, of course, that was all about the Mind Stone. So I figured Part 2 would be the Avengers. They get into their ships and they take off after Thanos to stop him from getting the Reality Stone, so that he can, snap his fingers and wipe out half of the characters as well as half everybody else. And of course, that didn't happen. If I'd read Infinity Gauntlet beforehand, I might have acknowledged this. Thanos actually snaps his fingers and wipes out half the characters fairly early on in Infinity Gauntlet. That is, if you read the collection, if you read the book, which I did after I saw Infinity War. Like, oh, he snaps his fingers, and that happens, with about 3/4 of the story left to go, and the rest of it is the Avengers going off into space to battle him. So I predicted that part right without having read the book, but that's not what happens in the movie. Not in Infinity War, anyway. What happens in Endgame, that I'm not sure about. They can go into space, they go to the quantum realm, who knows? But yeah, that's sort of where I was at so far. As far as the commentary goes, it kind of gets a little redundant, because they start pointing out things that you can obviously see, especially if you've already seen the film. But they actually talk all the way through the end credits, which is pretty great. All the way up until the final post-credit scene with Sam Jackson and Colby Smulders. So that was pretty cool. Sorry, Kobe Smulders. I'm a little congested. I've been sick for the last 4 days, so excuse me for coughing and what have you. So what do I have left to go? The two Ant-Man movies, have to see them. Very important, especially the second one. If there's information about the quantum realm, this is going to be important to Endgame. I really wasn't all that crazy about Ant-Man and the Wasp when I first saw it, and I've only seen it the one time, because it was just like scene after scene of sci-fi gobbledygook. It was like a sci-fi problem, oh, sci-fi solution. Uh-oh, another sci-fi problem. Here's another sci-fi solution. Should we try it? Oh, it didn't work. Let's try this other one. Oh, that worked. Uh-oh, here's a new sci-fi problem. When it's all just like completely removed from any kind of reality. At least that's how I remember it. So I'll be watching it a second time, give it another shot. But I'm mostly watching it just for the information. If I end up liking it more, hey, that's great. But I also want to rewatch Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Thor Ragnarok. which don't seem quite as necessary to understanding what happens in Endgame, but still, I'd like to give them another watch just because each one of these Marvel movies, with the exception of maybe 2 of them, I've seen at least 3 times already. So this is like my 4th watch on the ones that I've seen the least. There are a couple exceptions, but for the most part, yeah, most of them I'm seeing like for my 4th time. If not greater. I mean, some of these movies played on cable a bunch of times over the years, and so I've seen them 8 times or whatever, or at least I've seen parts of them. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So, rewatching Infinity War on Friday the 26th, going with my friends to see Endgame on the 27th, and then a couple days later, probably on Monday or Tuesday, I'll make a video about Endgame and what I thought of it. But the next video that I'm going to be doing, and this was something that just was prompted by one of Luke's videos. Luke Ryan, his channel Razor Wire Reviews, he's doing the MCU rewinds, and he was talking about some of the best action sequences in the movies. And I'm like, ooh, that should be a topic of one of my videos, top 10 MCU action sequences. So that's going to be my next video. So that's what's coming up next. And also, I wanted to just briefly mention that Star Wars put out a new trailer. For those of you who came to Chicago, where I lived for many years, glad you enjoyed yourself. If you did, I hope you did. Really would have liked to be there, especially to see the Collider crew, Ken Knapsack and all those guys. Really fond of the Pit Boss. And his movie news. Yeah, I didn't really get to, I was sick, and I also had to work too, so I really wasn't going to be able to do Celebration, even if I did buy tickets. I would have had to stay home anyway because I was sick. So I'm glad I didn't try and go to that, because it just wouldn't have worked at all. Glad I didn't pay any money to try and do that. But yeah, obviously, new trailer for the last Star Wars movie in the set of Star Wars movies. From what I've read, there aren't going to be any spin-offs for a little bit, maybe. But Rian Johnson, is probably still going to be doing another set of Star Wars movies that are unrelated to any of the characters we've been following. It's just set in the Star Wars universe, which is great. Anything could happen. That's cool. And as far as the trailer goes, it's a good one. I really enjoy it. As far as that one particular character, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, I won't spoil it for you. The one particular character from some previous movies that pops up, and gets a little voice cameo is just like, wow, really? They're doing that? But then it kind of makes sense, because I figured, okay, if you've got 2 main characters, one from the light side, one from the dark side, it makes sense that each of them has like a consultant. If you are familiar with Star Wars, you probably know what I mean by consultant. But that is that's something that seems very likely now. That they'll have this appearance by a character for the one side, and also an appearance by a character from the other side, as you could say a consultant, I guess. Anyway. So that's exciting. Won't be out until December, of course. But when we go and see Endgame, of course, they'll probably have that trailer there. So that'll be fun. Excuse me. That's all for now. As I said, next video I do on my series on the MCU is going to be my top 10 favorite MCU action sequences. So I hope you'll enjoy that when it comes out, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and please follow the links below to Luke Ryan's MCU videos, and Jim Gisrael's MCU videos, and of course my own Facebook page, where you can be sure to catch all of the new videos that I make, regardless of whether or not I have tons of subscribers and good analytics or whatever. Thanks very much for watching. I'll talk to you later.